Oh, well, hello. Welcome to Friday, everyone. Today, it's our Friday live stream time. I am Craig, and I am here to deliver some of the streaming news of the week. Now, I'm going to do things a little bit differently today. In the past, what I've done often is I will kind of go through the news of the day and take Q&A at the same time, and this slows us down a lot. And I know that people who come and watch the streams afterwards, they kind of have to hunt around through the stream, through the timeline to get to the news of that day. So today, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go through all of the news items that I was planning to go through. We'll hit. I think there's three major ones, and maybe some other ones later on down the stream, but there's three later ones. I'm going to go through those three news items, and then once I'm done with that, I'll open it up to Q&A. I'll take questions and all of that stuff. So stick with me through the stream. It's kind of an experiment to see if people enjoy this way of streaming, especially for those who come later, who weren't able to make the stream, but they want to hear the news. So feedback is welcome and encouraged. As we get started, obviously, don't forget to go to reviews.org/giveaways. The link is in the description. Whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, the link is in the description, so you can head there. Last week, we gave away a Disney Plus 1-year subscription. And then this week. Did I say last year? Last week we did that. This week, we are giving away. Oh, let me see if I can find it here. Oh, yeah, that's right. A $50 Amazon gift card for your holiday shopping. So, as you know, next week is Thanksgiving here in the US. And the day after that is when the mad Christmas rush starts. And so we are going to provide a $50 Amazon gift certificate to one lucky viewer. So make sure you go to reviews.org/giveaways and check out that page to enter. It's very, very easy. Okay. That being said, all right, let's get rid of this thing so that we can see the screen a little bit better. And let's pull up our first story. So I listed this one first because it might be I don't know, it might be the most interesting or important one that we have. Here we go. So now I got to move this so I can actually see my screen. Okay. So the first news story that we need to talk about is Hulu Live increasing their prices. I realized later, and I apologize for this. This is not intentional. In the title, I put a Hulu price increase. Well, Hulu, the regular Hulu, they increased their price in October, I think by $1 a month. And now Hulu Live will add to their monthly cost. But as it says here, Hulu Live TV plans will add Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and hike monthly prices by $5. So basically, that's it. I mean, we can go through the article if you like. Yeah, I mean, it is important to know that it's beginning on December 21st. So if you are a Hulu subscriber, you've probably already got an email about this. But if you didn't see it or if you didn't get it, then yeah, you will want to know about this. So it's going from $65 a month to now $70 a month, or 76. Wow, if you want the no ad version of Hulu in that Hulu with live TV package. So yeah, but with that $5 price hike, yeah, you are getting Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, which is pretty sweet. I mean, if you think about just if you don't think too hard about it, then $5 a month, basically. Here, let's see. Actually, blow this up a little bit. $5 a month to get Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. It's a crazy good deal. But obviously, this applies if you are already a subscriber to this particular service, Hulu Plus Live TV. That being said, I think there's a pretty good chance that you are. In fact, here, let me pull up another page here that I thought was kind of interesting. This will be another news item that we go through. Oh no, this is so I need to find I need to find the right page. We talked about this a week or two ago and kind of where the numbers were going. Is cord cutting still picking up steam? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. So this one shows us major pay TV subscribers lost this. And we can talk more about the cable numbers, but they also provide on this page numbers for the live TV streamers that actually provide their numbers. The big one here that is missing would be YouTube TV. They do not post their numbers publicly, and so we have to kind of guess at them. But these ones do. And so Hulu with Live TV is now sitting at around 4 million subscribers. So the reason I bring that up is because that's how many people this price hike is going to affect. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of the mechanics of how this is going to work with people who already have Hulu Plus Live TV and say Disney Plus or ESPN Plus, or like what if your existing bundle, how that's going to carry over. Those are wrinkles that are going to have to be ironed out. This announcement just came through, I think, just today, if I'm not mistaken, and so I haven't had the time yet to wrestle with all of the implications of it, but now you know that 4 million people are going to be affected by the $5 price hike on Hulu Plus Live TV. So there you go. That's our first news item for the day. Let's pull up another one. This one is kind of fun, and this one is a reminder to me. It's a great reminder to me that my experience is not everyone's experience. Okay, so this is something that if you are a writer, a reviewer, somebody in a position similar to mine, this is always a struggle. It's always a struggle to remember that your experience is not necessarily, the end all be all, the most important or whatever. Anyway, the reason I say that is because Paramount Plus has a record week. This was last week. Just wrapped up its best week ever. Let's blow this up a little bit for you. Setting a record since its rebrand from CBS All Access by adding 1 million new subscribers. And it also clocked its most hours streamed and the highest level of subscriber engagement that same week. Okay, so this is on the heels of some NFL stuff that they're doing, obviously. The Mayor of Kingstown was a big release, and then apparently Clifford the Big Red Dog is now Paramount Plus's most watched original film, which is interesting and impressive. So you never forget, family friendly sells really well, right? So anyway, so yeah, this is it's a reminder, like I said, to me, that my experience isn't the end all be all, because I don't really use Paramount Plus that much. I've never been all that impressed with it, whether it was CBS All Access or Paramount Plus. I've never been all that impressed with it. That just as far as the quality of the original content, for the most part, there's some standouts, but yeah, I need to always remember to pay attention to these services. So yeah, Paramount Plus is apparently kicking butt and taking names. Or was it kicking ass and chewing bubblegum? They're all out of bubblegum. Okay, so there you go. There's our second news item of the day. And then this one was kind of fun. I thought this was a fun bit of research from Aura. Aura is an internet security firm. So, identity security, that sort of thing. If you listen to a lot of podcasts, you've probably heard their advertisements. Anyway, they did a little study with an infographic that I thought was pretty interesting. And I like this. So I'm going to show it to you here. Let's pull it up. All right. So Americans, relationships, and streaming passwords. This was the big one that led their headlines. 53% of Americans who have streaming services admit they share login information with people outside their immediate household. No, I apologize. This was the big one. 1/3 of adults say they continue to access partner or friends' streaming service after the relationship ends, which is fantastic. And I've got some friends who have told me about this. I don't do a ton of password sharing myself. And so it hasn't, and I've been married now for 13 years. And so it's not a huge issue for me. But I love this idea that, like, yeah, the relationship's over, but hey, can I still log into your Netflix? Or, maybe you just don't say anything. You just kind of quietly leave your device logged into your ex's streaming device. I think it's fantastic, or streaming service. Let's see. 11% of Americans have let a former partner or friend use their streaming service. Okay, so that's like, I guess what that's saying is that 30%, sorry, a third of adults have done this, and then what, a third of those actually know about it. I don't know that that's the correct way to read this, but it could be something like that. And then this one, 12% of Americans have had to explicitly ask a former partner or friend to stop using their streaming account after the relationship ended. Fabulous. So 12% of people have had to have that conversation and say, hey, you need to stop doing this. So it's my Netflix. You're screwing up my algorithm or whatever. So now those are the big stories that I wanted to get through. Well, the other two were big. This one was more fun, if we're being honest. But with that, um, I kind of accomplished my goal. It took about 10 minutes. We got through those. And so now people who log in to view this video in the future on YouTube or on Facebook are going to be able to see those stories right up front. All right. So now, with that being said, I'm going to dive into the comments. So I've been completely ignoring your comments. So if that's offensive, I'm sorry. I was just trying something different today. Let's all right, so we're gonna leave the infographic up for a minute. I know it's kind of tough to see. I wonder if I can blow it up a little bit. um there we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so we'll leave that up there for a minute, and I'm gonna go and check out the comments now. We'll see what you guys have to say about all this. In fact, let's go ahead and flip this over to, all right, it's Q&A time. Let's get rid of that. Okay, yeah. So wait, where'd my? Oh yeah, that's fine. All right, so it's Q&A time. Let's talk about Q&A and what you guys think about all this. And I'm kind of going back to the beginning to make sure I didn't miss anything important. So Reliance says I need a haircut. Did you? There's a fantastic. There's a fantastic comment on my video. I want to say it was last week or maybe it was the week before, where somebody said, "Oh no, it was the one on the new Fire Stick. This one, the Fire TV Stick 4K. I did a review of that, and somebody's comment was, "Fire TV Stick 4K or whatever it was, looks great, but you don't. You look like a hippie. Cut your hair." And I got a kick out of that, and I didn't cut my hair, so. So, hello everybody. Jeff is here to remind us that Craig is always right. That's true. Craig is always right. I'm intrigued by the segment description. Yeah, I wasn't trying to be coy or anything. Hopefully it was informative. But anyway, let's see. It's cheaper than, oh yeah, talking about the Hulu. Okay, so let's in fact let's talk about this. This is Hulu Live. Okay, we're gonna pull this one back up and take a look at that. Okay, so Hulu, this is the story that David's referring to here. Hulu Live TV plans will add Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and hike monthly prices by $5. Okay, so normally, before December 21st, Hulu Live starts at $65 a month. That gets you Hulu, it gets you live TV for $65 a month, and that's Hulu with commercials. Okay, so $65 a month. And then Disney Plus on its own would be $8 a month now. So that gets us up to 73. And then ESPN Plus, I want to say it's $6 a month. Yeah, right now, $6 a month as a normal price. And so let's see, if we were at what did I say, 73, so $79, and now $70 a month for all three of those. So yeah, it is a little bit cheaper. So good call out. I wonder how many people will stick with Hulu and say, hey, great, I can get rid of my Disney Plus subscription, or how many Hulu Live subscribers are already Disney Plus subscribers. Maybe they signed up for the 3-year deal and they're like, hey, wait a minute, can I get in on this, or did I get screwed by taking advantage too early? I don't know. What's the status of Google versus Roku? That's a great question. I haven't heard any update lately. But let's see if they're. I just double checking here. Yeah, there hasn't been any big updates since October, but the deadline on this is December 9th. If something doesn't get worked out with Google versus Roku, then December 9th is the day that would end. Now, that being said, it would be kind of like the YouTube TV debacle that happened within the last year or so, where when Google pulls its support, it doesn't mean that the app disappears off Roku. It means that new devices and devices that don't already have it downloaded, it can't download it new. So if the YouTube deal falls through with Roku, then if you already have YouTube on your Roku, you'll still be able to use it as normal, which is good. New Roku owners wouldn't be able to get it. So use that information as you will. If you have a Roku and for some reason you don't have YouTube downloaded on it, then now would be a good time. The problem is, even though you can still access it, this means that that app wouldn't continue getting updates, as far as I understand it. I could be wrong. I'm open to correction. So, the Google overlords are welcome to give me a call and correct me on this. But I believe the app would stop being updated, which is fine for a little while, but after a while, you start getting security issues, or maybe there are features that begin to be implemented in YouTube and it doesn't port over to the Roku experience, that sort of thing. So those updates can be very important. Anyway, but that's a great question. No update yet. Okay. Everything's getting more and more expensive. Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's the way of things. And think of it this way. So again, referring to our Hulu Live discussion, everything's getting more expensive. That's true. And this is exactly what happened with cable and satellite. And pretty soon things will get too expensive on the streaming side. Not pretty soon necessarily, whatever that means. At some point, things will get more expensive than the market will bear on the streaming side, and there will be some new revolution. So this time we're calling it cord cutting as people leave their cable and satellite providers. But we'll call it something else at some point, where somebody will come in with an innovation that will kind of undercut the experience that we have with cord cutting right now, and we'll all wonder how we ever lived without. Whoa, sorry, I just spilled tea all over myself. We'll all wonder how we ever lived without this new thing, just like we do now with streaming. So, that's just how markets and innovation work, and sometimes it's frustrating, and sometimes it's glorious, and we work with what we got, right? All right. Space Ghost does not like Hulu. Okay, never again will I use them. Hey, if this hurts that much, then I understand. Not much I can say to talk you off that ledge, I suppose. Okay, ESPN Plus sucks. Have to enter my credentials every single time. And they bury NHL hockey behind Division III football and UFC wrestling. So this is David. This is actually fantastic. Sorry, I gotta clean up my spill here. So get some paper towels. This is fantastic because wasn't I responding to one of your comments? Oh no, this is in regards to something else. I mentioned earlier in the story about Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus has had a record week. They're doing great. They just added 1 million subscribers. And I was saying earlier that I have to remind myself that my experience is not everyone's experience, right? And David, I would encourage you to remember the same thing. Now, as for the first part of that, that sucks, and I understand. That's one of my least favorite things about Apple TV Plus, about the Apple TV device, the kind of Apple generally, is that it's great that you guys take security seriously, but it's really annoying that you expect me to have more than one Apple device. So I won't go on this entire rant, but it can be really difficult to log into Apple TV Plus. So I understand this complaint. You have to enter your credentials every single time. Although that is a little bit weird. There's probably a setting somewhere, because this is not the case for me. It's not the case for anybody that I've heard of. So you may want to double check what your situation is. If there's a setting somewhere that's not allowing you to stay logged in, you might have to go into ESPN.com on your browser and check your own settings. But as for the rest of it, they bury NHL hockey behind Division III football and UFC wrestling garbage. Well, the algorithm knows all, right? They understand what people are watching on their platform. And apparently, Division III football and UFC gets more viewership. I don't know. Or, maybe they get better ad revenue. Who knows? But hey, at least the hockey is there. I've been using it to watch Kraken. As you guys know, I'm from Seattle. I'm a big Seattle sports fan, except for Pete Carroll, who, never mind, I'm just going to leave it there. But the Kraken, I've been following the Kraken this year, and it's been great to be able to do it on ESPN Plus for not very much money. Pretty great. All right. Okay. Let's see. Wesley asks, "Are local channels offered in Hulu? Hulu Live? I'm assuming you mean Hulu Live. Yes, they are. Regular Hulu, no, but Hulu Live, depending on your market, which area you're in, I can't guarantee which channels are available, but yes, they do generally a good job of hooking you up with local channels. Okay, I need to. Sorry, you guys. I'm way back on the comments. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. So if I end up skipping yours, I apologize. You're welcome to resubmit it now. Um, all right. Have I ever heard of Lowcast? Yeah, absolutely. Lowcast. That's the one that just got closed down. Unfortunately, they lost a uh, they lost some litigation about like basically copyright infringement or whatever the equivalent is in that industry, and they are no longer are they no longer updating or no longer offering? Yeah, they had to suspend operations. Yeah, so just double checked. So yeah, they're still not going. But yeah, Lowcast was a great service for those who could get it. One of the problems with Lowcast was that it wasn't available in very many markets. I want to say it was like 16 markets in the U.S. before it got suspended, and mine was not one of them. So I was never able to really use Lowcast. I had to kind of rely on the experiences of others, just like just like many of you do, when it came to understanding Lowcast and all that. So I've heard of Lowcast. I'm sorry it's gone. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. William Mack, Hulu won't even let me subscribe because I use a hotspot. When I cut the cord, I cut the internet too, all of it. Now I just use my cell phone. Yeah, and Hulu, Disney Plus, I think to a certain extent, but definitely Hulu, very picky about, um, comparatively speaking, very picky about where you access and who gets to access. They are kind of one of the pickier ones when it comes to password sharing, that sort of thing. So yeah, I understand that. All right. Okay, Paramount numbers are fake, at least for the sign up. T-Mobile is a free year of that service. Maybe, maybe. Though it's, I can understand some of that. Like, okay, so if we pull this back up, let's pull this back up. Let's see what happens with the screen here. Okay, so the headline here is Paramount Plus has a record week with most viewing time and 1 million new signups. So one of those numbers I can see your argument for. 1 million new signups, that could just be oh, by the way, I should give credit where credit is due. Thank you, Cord Cutters News, on that one. So 1 million new signups could be due to what you're talking about. This T-Mobile free, whatever. You sign up for an unlimited plan with T-Mobile and you get a year of Paramount Plus, whatever it is. Or I think it just kind of comes with it. Maybe it's ongoing. But this other number, the record week with most viewing time. So if we come down here, let's see, the boost in viewership was fueled by Adele, Mayor of Kingstown, Clifford the Big Red Dog, NFL on CBS. So that number would be a lot tougher to fake just with those T-Mobile signups. So I think what you say is it's the type of question that I like when people ask, but keep digging, keep thinking about it. So yes, some of those numbers might be. They're not fake. They're not fake numbers, but they might be less sticky subscribers, or subscribers who aren't really viewing very much. So yeah, that could be the case. Anyway, okay, let's see. Google TVs. What's the verdict? I like them generally. I know they're. I'm hoping in 2022 there are going to be more smart TVs with Google TV built in. I'm hoping to see that next year. Okay. Hi from Georgia. Oh, very nice. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going through some recent comments. Let's see. Lowcast is trying to return by making agreements with local channels. Yeah, of course. it was a great service, and a lot of people benefited from it. So I hope they do try to come back in a way that that they won't be shut down. That'd be great. Teresa, I can't live without Hulu. I'm a truck driver, so I need it. You know what, Teresa? Cheers to that, and all of our truck drivers right now. Most people here on Reviews.org, or the audience here on Reviews.org, they don't know this, but and so you probably don't know this, but I actually host a podcast about how to start your own trucking company. Believe it or not, so I produce a lot of extra podcasts. So if you can't get enough of this guy, then go check out Holland Assets. Oh yeah, go check out Holland Assets. You can, Teresa, you're on Facebook. You can go check them out. But yeah, that's fun. I love that. I love shouting out our truck drivers. Right now is a tough time logistics wise. So any love we can give our truckers, let's do it. All right. Let's see. Interesting. Paramount Plus currently has a deal for 99 cents for 2 months with Prime channels. Yeah, Prime channels is kind of making that push right now. They lost HBO, and so they're kind of making a push with the other ones. So let's see if I can pull up Amazon Prime channels. Okay, I'm gonna put this on screen, see what we can see. You know what? I'm gonna actually, yeah. All right, Paramount Plus channels. IMDb, yeah, Prime Video channels. There we go. Paramount Plus. Let's see what they're saying right now. Where's it? Oh, you know what? It's probably not going to tell me because I'm already signed up. So yeah, okay. Well, that's good to know. All right. Oh, sorry. Pardon me. I need to liquid myself. Oh man. This is good. I like this from David. Jared Newman, who does the Cord Cutter Weekly newsletter. I've talked about it a lot of times on this live stream. If you're not signed up for it, you should. He writes for Tech Hive, so you go to Tech Hive, you search Jared Newman, and then at the bottom of all of his articles, you can sign up for his weekly newsletter. You should do this. He talks every week about how he's never paid for CBS All Access or Paramount Plus because they're constant free offers. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those services where you can, to a certain extent, get away with that. All right. Okay, this is good. AMC Plus for $1.99 a month for a year. Yeah, that'd be pretty great. The AMC Plus is one of those ones where my read on AMC Plus is that those who have it and love it really love it, and they're happy to evangelize for it. But most people don't really know that AMC Plus is a thing. They haven't done an awesome job in marketing AMC Plus, in my opinion. You know, compared to the other services, the air has been sucked out of the room by so many of the other streaming services, and so I shouldn't say they haven't done a great job. I should say they haven't had as much success marketing AMC Plus, but it's really good. And so if you like AMC content and the other stuff that you would find on there, it's a good one to check out. In fact, I should probably do a deep dive review into AMC Plus. So I appreciate that reminder. Roku new update 10.5. We actually covered this. If you go onto our YouTube channel and you can go through past live streams, we actually did a live stream, I want to say it was a month and a half ago, maybe something like that, where we talked about Roku OS 10.5 and the stuff that comes along with it. So yeah, please go check that out. Weirdly, the strangest thing, I've had Roku 10.5 on my Roku TV for a while. You know, when it kind of soft rolled out a couple months ago, I got it, and that's why we were able to do the live stream about it. And then last night, I turned on the TV. My wife and I were finishing up season 2 of Ted Lasso. For her, I'd already finished it, but we were finishing up season 2 of Ted Lasso. So I turned on the TV, and this this notice comes up that says, "Hey, 10.5 is here. Here's all the stuff that you get." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've had this for 2 months now." So it was very strange that they kind of rolled out the announcement for it a long time after the actual update. Very strange. Okay. AMC Plus kind of niche like Discovery Plus. I would say AMC Plus is more niche than Discovery Plus. Um, I'm not going to die on that hill, but yeah, I guess it is kind of similar in that way where it's like if you love a certain type of content, then this is the streaming service for you. Yeah, in both cases, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. AMC has a lot of Walking Dead content. Yeah, that's true. Walking Dead, they're wrapping up their last season, right? Isn't it like season 13 or something crazy like that? They're wrapping up their final season, and then there's Fear the Walking Dead, and then I know they did like 4 or 5 other spinoffs. It seems like I don't know the actual number, but yeah, there's a lot of Walking Dead content out there. I definitely watched the heck out of that show for like I don't know 8 seasons or something like that for a long time. And when a company has a moneymaker like that, you yeah, you hit it hard. So all right. The too many streaming services is an ongoing theme in season 2 of the morning show. Yeah, it's true. The morning show. I will say this: I really liked season 1 of the morning show. I thought it was fantastically done. Season 2 of the morning show, in my opinion, had too many of those winks to the audience. Too many of those little like, "Hey, we're hip, we're current, we understand," or like the little things to remind you, hey, this is taking place in early 2020, and it was a little too self-aware, I guess, in season 2. And it kind of distracted me sometimes, but yeah, they do have a lot of those jokes in there. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. So this is a good one for us to address. I address this every once in a while. Unfortunately, I can't keep track of streaming apps elsewhere. I just don't. I don't have the time or the bandwidth. So, and reviews.org, we are here on this channel, this YouTube channel, it is US centric. So we have a ton of US streaming stuff to talk about. And so I unfortunately can't really keep track of what's going on streaming wise around the globe or even across the border. The closest we come, we do have reviews.org Australia. I don't know that they've been doing a ton on YouTube at this point, but I'm sure that's coming. But they do have a presence on our website. And so who knows? Maybe, if you guys like and subscribe and tell your friends, leave a review, et cetera, et cetera. If we get big enough, then I could definitely see reviews.org UK, reviews.org Canada, reviews.org, whatever. I would love to see that. This blue and orange blanket across the land, right? That'd be great. So, but unfortunately, right now, we have to concentrate on US content. So sorry about that. Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. I mentioned this earlier. I want more Google TV smart TVs. Ken says I was a local. I was a loyal Roku user with multiple devices until I unboxed my new Sony Bravia with Google TV. The integration between streaming and TV is very slick. I think this is what Roku is worried about. Yeah, could be. Roku still has a huge amount of market share. We'll see what happens with the YouTube thing, and then we'll catch up in 3 to 6 months and see how it's doing. Okay, so yeah, I would love to see more. I guess my point, I would love to see more of these Google TV smart TVs. I want TCL to make one, although I think they're probably partnered exclusively with Roku, but something like that. The Sony Bravia, I'm impressed you got one because they are pricier than the budget TVs that I tend to shop for. Like and subscribe. But yeah, I'd like to see some more budget versions of those. Joel asks about NFL Sunday Ticket streaming. This is something we addressed. I want to say it was last week. Was it last week we were talking about NFL Sunday Ticket. There are so many bidders in this bidding war. NFL Sunday Ticket, their contract with AT&T, i.e. DirecTV, ends in 2023. And with the end of that contract, there are any number of other people who would love to pick it up. So early on in the conversation, Apple TV Plus was in the conversation to pick up NFL Sunday Ticket, which would be interesting to say the least. Amazon Prime is now in the conversation. They already get Thursday night football, so if they can pin down Thursday and Sunday, that'd be great for them. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see where it lands. As of right now, through this season and I believe next season as well, it is still a DirecTV exclusive. There are some loopholes, some ways you can get around that, but most of us can't. Because it's like if you live in a college dorm or something, you might be able to sign up for NFL Sunday Ticket streaming on its own, but yeah, most of us can't do it. So, all right. Let me make sure that I am not missing anybody. Oh boy, early Black Friday sales are giving me a serious case of FOMO. Fight it. Fight the FOMO. You don't need it. If you didn't need the device when it wasn't on sale, you don't need it now. If so, here's okay. Oh boy, I feel like I need to like put on my elbow patches and get ready to give a lecture because this is one of my things. When it comes to this sort of stuff, streaming devices, streaming services, streaming whatever, or whatever the device is, it's the brand new PlayStation, it's a brand new thing. Yeah, don't let Black Friday make you go out and spend money. Let Black Friday save you money. So what I mean by that is you see a Black Friday deal and you're like, oh, this is what who knew? I didn't even realize that I needed a smart waffle maker. But it's 45% off. I can't not buy it. It's like you got along just fine without the smart waffle maker. You don't need to spend your money on it because it's 45% off. If their device you're really thinking about, you're like, you know what? I've been meaning to switch over to Fire Stick for a while. And now with the early Black Friday deals, you can get the Fire Stick 4K for $25. If you've been thinking about that and then they're like, hey, this is 50% off, go ahead and buy it. That's a great deal. Does that make sense? Like, let Black Friday and other sales like it's Cyber Monday or Prime Day or whatever, let them save you money. Don't let them make you spend your money. If that makes any sense. There you go. All right. Elbow patches off, rant over. Oh, that's true. TCL does have Android TV. I apologize. I kind of forgot about that. Joel asks if Android TV is the same as Google TV. It is not. Google TV is built on Android TV, but if you get the new Chromecast with Google TV and you plug it in, you won't see the normal Android TV operating system or menus or whatever. Interface, I guess, would be the correct term here. So it's built on the same architecture, but it is a separate operating system, a separate experience. So no, they're not the same. In fact, if you look back in this corner, kind of behind this camera, I've got all those devices, and I've got an NVIDIA Shield, and I've got the Google TV Chromecast plugged in behind it because it's good to compare those two. So anyway, nope, not the same. This is an interesting question. So what's the best TV system you would suggest? What do you mean by TV system? Do I mean the actual TV? Do I mean the TV with do I mean a streaming system, like Roku or Fire TV or whatever, Google TV? And so I'm happy to opine on this, but tell me a little bit more about what you mean. All right. Ron, hope this isn't a dumb question, but why isn't it easy to stream audio from a Chromecast with Google TV to a stereo pair of Google Nest audio devices? Apple figured it out with the HomePods and Apple TV. I mean, why isn't it? I don't know, because they need to work on that. It could just be that that Google is more okay with putting something out into the market before it's completely polished than Apple is. Apple really polishes their products for the most part, with some exceptions. They really polish their products before they send them out to market, and so they make sure that that all these things play nice together. Google, I think, is a little more okay with letting the market almost beta test their devices sometimes. So that could be what's going on here. Um, so Apple figured it out with the HomePods and Apple TV. I would say also Amazon figured it out with Fire TV and Echo devices. Yeah, there's a lot that you can do there. So I've never done the Google Nest hookup before, so I can't speak from experience. But you've got me interested. I wonder if I should see if Reviews.org will spring for me to try Chromecast and Google Nest. Oh man, that was crazy. Sorry about that, everybody. Um, okay, so yeah, I know I disappeared. I apologize. I hit the wrong button here. All right. As the folks at Wirecutter preach every year, great website by the way. I love Wirecutter. They were an early inspiration for Reviews.org as we were getting started. We're like, you know what? If we can be as good as the Wirecutter, we'd be doing great. So yeah, I do enjoy their stuff. As the folks at Wirecutter preach every year, Black Friday is usually not the best time to buy anything. They track prices throughout the year. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely deals that like crazy good deals on Black Friday, but your chances of getting to those good deals are somewhat low most of the time. And yeah, and usually it's prices get artificially inflated for a few weeks or some months before Black Friday so that they can say, oh, it's 65% off, when in reality it's like it's not. Normally it wouldn't normally be considered that. So yeah. Okay, so Ms. Simmons asked earlier, what's the best TV system you would suggest? And clarification here is the TV streaming system. So right now, oh gosh, this is really tough. Okay, the best. This is something we've done on Reviews.org since the beginning, where it's kind of tough to say. It's tough to say this thing is good and that thing is bad. And so what we tend to do, and this is a philosophy that when it was articulated to me in the early days of Reviews.org, I kind of fell in love with to a certain extent. It has its limits, okay, but the philosophy is this: everything is right for somebody. Okay, so that's our kind of a basic framework, a way that we can look at the way we review things. Okay, so everything is right for somebody. Like I said, there are limits to this. Sometimes a product or a service just sucks, right? And that does happen. But most of the time, everything is right for somebody. So the reason I say this is because you're asking, what is the best TV streaming system? Which one should I get? Well, the answer is going to depend on you and your situation and your budget. What do you want to do with it? That sort of thing. So with that in mind, um, we're going to leave aside the issues with YouTube, the fights between Google and Roku. And I'm going to say that Roku is still the best for beginner cord cutters, people who want simplicity, people who want to quickly understand how to work their new system. Roku is awesome at that. And I still use Roku. It is good for other reasons as well, but it's best for that. It's best for beginner cord cutters. Fire TV is going to be the best for smart home integration stuff. A ton of I don't want to say her name because she wakes up, but Alexa, the Google, or not the Echo is the word I'm looking for. So Echo integration, that's the code word we'll use. So it's really good for integrating that stuff together, kind of integrating your TV with smart home stuff. Apple TV is the best for somebody, obviously an Apple user who has a budget. Okay, it's going to be overall the most expensive. The single most expensive device is the NVIDIA Shield Pro, but the Apple TV ecosystem is going to have you spending the most money overall. But as far as just a deluxe streaming experience, Apple TV really delivers there. And then Google TV is the best for the way I think of it would be channel surfers. So this used to be a thing, right? We'd scroll through the channel list, on cable and see what we wanted to watch. Cord cutters, that isn't quite the same thing, but Google TV has the best recommendation algorithm. So if you like to sit down at the TV even before you've decided what to watch, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to watch? Then turning on a Google TV is the best way to find something to watch. So there you go. There's your basics. I didn't go over Android TV. Somebody else said it earlier in the chat. The Android TV at some point is going to be a thing of the past. Google TV will overtake it, and I think that's right. And Android TV will kind of it'll slowly kind of lose support versus Google TV. So anyway, I hope that answered your question. I do love that question, and I hope that my throat clearing wasn't too excessive. But I just want to make sure, like, I think all of these platforms are really good in their own way. So there you go. Let's see. Oh yeah, it was Arcelia. It's Android TV will permanently in the past. There you go. Oh, Digital Trends reported that. Interesting. What's the best soundbar system? Oh boy, that's a similar question. And in this one, I'm going to have to beg off this question and say I don't know. I did a soundbar review, gosh, a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that, where I kind of looked at the top 3 or 5 soundbars on Amazon, the best-selling soundbars, and kind of did a review of those. But it's been long enough now, and I'm sure that list has changed. Just with soundbars, I will say this. Soundbars are an excellent illustration of the principle you get what you pay for. That doesn't mean you need to go out and buy a $3,000 sound system. But what I mean is, if you're looking at a $400 kind of 5.1 system, a couple speakers, you get the subwoofer, you get the thing, like that $400 thing versus a $70 Tautronics soundbar. That soundbar is going to be pretty terrible compared to the other one. So sound systems like this, whether it's sound bars or full-on surround sound, they really operate by that you get what you pay for principle. So you up to a certain extent. Okay, again, don't spend thousands on your sound system unless you have the world's greatest home theater. Like for most of us, you don't need to do that. But a few $100 versus a few dozen bucks, you'll see a huge difference. A lot of times with budget sound bars, if you see a budget sound bar that's $50, $60, $70, a lot of times what they do is they take the exact same type of speaker, or the same wattage, the same size of speaker that you would get. Yeah, there you go, in your TV. But in the TV, the speakers with our flat screens, they're so flat now that the edges, the bevels are so thin that they don't have a place to put the speakers to fire frontward. And so they put the speakers on the back and count on your wall. So they bounce the sound off the wall and back to you. With the cheap sound bars, essentially all they do is they take that same kind of speaker and they just put it in a bar so that it's playing forward. So there's a noticeable difference between your TV speakers and those cheap sound bars, but the sound quality isn't very good. You're not getting much more volume. You're just getting maybe a little better clarity than you would with your TV speakers. But once you get up into the mid-range, where you're spending a couple $100 maybe on a sound bar, that's when you're going to see a big difference. So the one that I think I was most impressed with at the time, this is a year and a half, 2 years ago, was the Polk sound bar. Like the S9 or something like that. So it had a sound bar and a subwoofer, and it was fantastic, and it was not that expensive. So maybe go check out Polk. All right. Okay, I'm going to start working on wrapping it up. Okay, so let me check and see what other things I'm missing. I've been catching up. It's been a few minutes, but yeah, I'm getting all these. Where'd I go? Yeah, sometimes that happens. So I've got this gaming mouse, and if my thumb accidentally presses the back button, as anybody who uses a gaming mouse knows, it's really easy to accidentally hit buttons on them. And I hit the back button, and it took me out of the stream, but the stream kept going, thank goodness, and so I was able to come back in. So yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I skipped the Nvidia Shield when I was talking about the best streaming platforms. This one is so niche that I usually skip over it because the people who fall into this camp are like they already know who they are and they don't need me to tell them that the Nvidia Shield is great for this. But yes, for uh, for gamers, the Nvidia Shield is awesome, especially if you have an Nvidia graphics card in your PC and you can do screen mirroring, and so it helps you. Like if you're a streamer, or whatever, then yeah, the Nvidia Shield is awesome. It opens up a ton of possibilities. For the average user, it's overkill. Like the average user will never use a third of the features that are available on the Nvidia Shield and the things that make it so great. So anyway, so I don't mean to shortchange Nvidia Shield. It's so niche that I usually kind of accidentally shortchange it. I leave it out. So okay, Roku soundbar. Joel is asking about Roku soundbar. Yeah, it's really good. It's not like top of the line amazing sound, but it's very very good. And it's nice to have the Roku system integrated. The Roku soundbars, the one problem with them is that they do sometimes lag behind in updates. So, like we were just talking about Roku OS 10.5, and they'll usually roll these updates out for the independent devices first, so like the streaming sticks or the Roku Ultra, and then Roku TVs. And then at some point they'll roll it out for something like the Roku soundbar. So sometimes they just take a little longer to get the updates. Sometimes that frustrates people. Most people probably don't care, but yeah. All right. LG TV speakers are good, not great. Yeah, that's one of the most frustrating things. Sorry, I need to. Oh, my throat's starting to give out. This is what happens when you talk for 52 minutes straight. Um, oh yeah. One of the most frustrating things about premium TVs. So whether it's LG or Samsung or whatever the premium TV is, they're like, hey, it's 8K, it's 85 inches. You can see it from space, and it also does your laundry. And you're like, oh my gosh, this TV is amazing. Um, and what they don't tell you is that, yeah, we're using the same sound technology that we figured out back in 2006. And we just kind of slap some speakers on there. The assumption when you buy a premium, giant, amazing, mega 85-inch, whatever TV, even, even the smaller ones now, when you buy these TVs, they just assume, yeah, you're going to go out and get a great sound bar. You're going to get this dope surround sound system, and you'll never use the TV sound. Not everybody does that, but that's the assumption. So I think the assumption is when you get a premium TV, they're like, hey, if you're going to spend $1,500 on this, you can fork out an extra $300 for a sound bar, or a sound system. So I think that's the assumption. Anyway, but yeah, it's very strange. You're like, I'm spending like this $3,000 TV I saw at CES, and so obviously they've got like $10,000 TVs at CES. But I was looking at one that they were retailing for $3,000, and I asked about the sound, and the guy who was showing it on the floor at CES looked at me like an alien. He's like, "Why do you care about the sound?" I was just curious, and he's like, "Yeah, it's terrible." so yeah, they just don't care. Oh boy. Do you have an in-house speakers? So if you look right there, yeah, I can kind of tickle it. That's my Roku speaker. So Roku speakers are interesting in that they only work with Roku TVs. So you can't, which they work wonderfully with Roku TVs. One of the things I loved about it was insanely easy to set up. It was crazy. But it's going to be tough if I ever want to switch TV brands. I'm like, well, now I got to get new speakers because this only works with, those only work with the TCL, the Roku TV. So a little frustrating, but yeah, they are very good speakers. All right. David pulling in that. Wow. Talk about nostalgia when they used to combine TVs and record players in the same console. Two mediocre products sold like hotcakes. I haven't thought about those in a while. My grandparents had one in the basement. That was fantastic. Yeah. People who care about sound usually buy a sound bar or better yet, speakers for their TV. Yeah. It's um yeah, a lot of people they're just watching TV for the entertainment. They're not necessarily looking for some immersive experience. And so a lot of people don't care about the sound. So the TV manufacturers don't care about it right back. So there you go. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it. We're coming up on an hour here, and my throat's starting to dry up, and I've got some friends coming in from out of town, so I've got to prepare the studio. You can see it's a little messy. Okay, I got to clean the studio. I got to be ready for these people coming in. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you so much for participating in this live stream. Again, I would love to get some feedback. It's hard for me to see everything that happens in the chat, um, but. But I would love to get some feedback on today's format. So what we did was in the first 10 minutes, I gave you the news items that we had to talk about. And then after that, we did, 45 minutes of Q&A. And, that's maybe more fun for some people. But for those tuning in after the stream, it's nice to be able to see everything right up front. Before I go, anyway, I was going to say it's tough to get everything in the chat. So when the video is posted, you can put it in the comments. You can, let me get rid of this thing. You can find me on Twitter, Craig at TLP Craig. It's right there. So give me some feedbacks. Tell me some feedbacks, plural. Sure. Give me some feedback. Tell me if you like this format that we did today. I'd love to hear it. Okay. Before we go, let me put this back up. The weekly giveaways, because I do need to tell you who won last week's giveaway. The let's see. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, so last week we gave away a year of Disney Plus. This week we're giving away a year of Netflix, and the winner for the Netflix subscription, the 1 year Netflix subscription, is Benjamin Sweetra. So, Benjamin, congratulations. I hope you're watching. Whether you are or not, we'll be emailing Benjamin to let him know. And this week we are doing a $50 Amazon gift card. Okay, so with Black Friday coming up, I'll announce the winner of that next Friday. We'll get in touch with you. You probably, I don't know that we'll be able to get that in time for actual Black Friday, but maybe for Cyber Monday and certainly for just Christmas shopping in generally. Then that will be available for you. So go to reviews.org/giveaways and check out that page. It's super, super easy. And we're not asking you for your firstborn child or anything. It's just, this is really just a way for us to make sure we thank you for tuning into the live streams and supporting the channel. And make sure we keep you up to date on what the new videos are that we release and all that sort of thing. So yeah, make sure you go check that out. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you all next week on Friday. We'll be talking about Black Friday because it will be Black Friday. It should be the same time. I'll be in a different location, so different quality as far as what I'm able to do on the stream, but it'll still be a good time. Hope to see you there. Have a great weekend, everybody, and enjoy your Thanksgiving.